What's poppin', you guys? We are back for another installment of R&D, Relationship Dynamics. I'm your host, Cartier Bob, and I have so many friends today. It was a horrible pan out.
I have all the friends.
To my left.
Oh, you want me to introduce myself?
Of course.
Oh, my name is Aaron Robinson.
That's it.
Yeah, that's my name.
And it's Tight Ford here with Rob and Aaron.
So if this is your first time tuning into our R&D, we really get into what's going on in our culture relationally, because it's hard to connect to people nowadays, and we got to have real people and real thoughts and real conversations to bridge the gap between what's the most important human experience, relationships. So we got an icebreaker. The icebreaker is, would you rather meet your soulmate tomorrow? Like you wake up, bow, she in the bed with you. Or next year, January 1, you win the lottery.
How much is the lottery
I
for?
was going to ask.
Yeah, damn it. Ugh.
Like the last Mega Millions that just went.
Yeah.
When you answer, I'll let that be in your answer. I'll let you have that
I get
freedom.
to choose how much money it is?
You get to choose. But we're talking about the love of your life, like your perfect match. None of this is my perfect match in Montana. No, this is your one best match, 100%.
Now, see, I would want to say that I choose my soulmate just because, when you walk in through life, if you would just find your person who's going to be with you through thick and thin, no matter what, that's a beautiful experience. And obviously, nobody wants to be 40 and alone. But with that last lottery that just hit, I could retire my mother, my father, my kids, my grandkids, my grandkids. Hell, I could buy back half of Black Portland. Northeast will be ours again. So I don't know. I might have to go lottery, bro. And I feel like with that much money, like that. Never mind. Like the access I would have with certain stuff, I feel like I'd fuck around and like meet my soulmate eventually.
For sure. You have access to many, many different rooms. I think anything, if it's over $1 million, it's the money. If it's $250,000, I'll meet my soulmate. Like that's kind of the price. Like $250,000, yes, it's a lot of money, but it's not life-changing money. It can be life-changing money if you like use it properly. But I feel like what I would receive in like a dynamic partnership, the one that I'm calling in, like $250,000 is just a drop in the bucket. Like at that point, because that money's going to come because this person's going to be able to feed into me and allow me to become the man that I know that I am, So like the money issue is like whatever, but it's like anything over $1 million, I'm like, let me take the money and let me play with that.
And not to even count your pockets, just because I'm not too well versed in what you do professionally, but we're all adults here. $250K over a few years, that's not that unattainable in terms of like the amount of money you can gross. Now, obviously, it's hard to save that much within a 5-year time span, but
Sure.
I can see that versus you telling me I could possibly wake up one day and have 500 M's in my bank account. Completely different lifestyle you living.
Yeah, well, it's like it's a relationship. It's like, what if tomorrow, instead of meeting the love of your life, you met somebody who can help facilitate your dreams coming true and being completely fulfilled and financially independent? Like that's a relationship. Like, does the love of your life add to that? If that person's like a financial planner, like angel investor, is that the one that I fall in love? I'd be like, yeah, I fall in love with her. But who knows? Great question, Rob.
I try. I'm not gonna lie. When I do R&D, I like to curate the people, the questions, and everything. Because anyone who I have on here, I really think you have a dope perspective. And I had a hard time with this one myself because I think people who say that money doesn't cure all. You haven't never had $250K in your bank account before. It helps. But like when we kind of think about the human experience, and that's something like I'm gonna be saying a lot. It's like I feel like sometimes when we are in the westernized culture, we lose that. A lot of the stuff that we really want as humans is very simple. It's like being understood and compassion. So I'm not gonna lie. Originally, I was for the money. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I was for the money, but I would rather meet my soulmate, my 100% match.
That's cap.
No. But no. It doesn't stop. It's not cap. The reason why it's not cap is because if this is my 100% soulmate, we'll make enough money. Like we wouldn't need all of it. If that's my person, and hey, timestamp this in 2 years. Future Robert, where you at? We winning. So if that's my soulmate, we're at a comfortable, like if I'm making by like 150, 250 and she's making whatever, I'm good with life. I don't need all the extra.
Now see, the only challenge I have with you towards that is this. I know it's all hypothetical. I know it's all hypothetical scenarios, and sometimes like taking this on an offshoot question, I'll do this with my friends. It's real easy to say what you wouldn't do when the money isn't in front of you. Like that red pill, blue pill dynamic, like in terms of like Matrix type stuff.
Yeah.
Oh. Like, are you willing to, I don't know what your relationship is with your family, take the red pill and your mom still has to go to work tomorrow?
Man, that's fucked up. Damn. Mama T, I told her I'm going to retire her one of these days. But I feel like even with that, I could still retire her and like, not in the way I want, where like she can be like, I'm rich, fuck all y'all. But like it would be enough to be like, Mom, you could actually stay in like our spare room. Like it's cool. Like work for the library from time to time, part time, but it's not like. So I fucking hate you for saying that. Damn.
Yeah, and if you believe that there's more than one love in your life, like how many billions of people are on the earth? Like I think there's like plenty of compatible matches, but it's who are you showing up to that compatible match, because at each stage there's the perfect match for you, but it's like, all right, well, that money can allow me to elevate to another level, which will call in that other person that is also elevated at that level to match me at that place, because today is a lot different from 5 years from now. So it's either we build from today and we mature together, or I call in a completely different energetic signature to match me after I've gotten all the bills paid, everything set up, ready to roll.
And Rob, just to go off of that, I don't know what your set list of questions is, but it kind of made something pop up in my head based off of what you said, Aaron. How much do you weigh into the idea of a soulmate, quote unquote, versus it being like a set group of people that you can be highly compatible with? And I know my parents, when they talk about their marriage, they love each other, but marriage is work, and it's just a decision to choose that person every single day.
Yeah. I think when I talk about compatibility, it's not like everything's like bliss every day. Compatibility is like I can still dislike you and we can still be in a marriage. I think
I can't dislike someone I'm in a marriage with.
Yes, you can. Like
dislike?
You can be upset with them.
I think you have spurts or like moments of not liking them.
You can be frustrated.
Exactly. But I'm saying like sometimes that manifests like I'm annoyed with this person. Where like I can be annoyed with you and still be madly in love with you. Like get away from me for like a day.
For sure. Yeah, someone that you're willing to do the work with, and then know that they're equally invested in doing the work and showing up to the greatest capacity each and every single day. And sometimes that fluctuates, but wherever you're at baseline, it's like, all right, I'm going to show up and give all of myself to it.
Yeah, no doubt. Yo, damn, we even got to the questions. Y'all ruthless. Y'all some outstanding.
That was the warm up.
Yeah, that was supposed to be the warm up. Oh my gosh. So we're about to get into some questions. So we got first question. So we were talking a lot about generations, and I'm not gonna lie, I love my generation, but I'm not proud of my generation. So the question I have for all of y'all is, what's our generation's level of emotional maturity when it comes to building relationships?
You want to take that, Tay?
Mm,
Let it marinate?
Yeah, I think I need a little bit of time on that.
Can you repeat the question?
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
Yes, I can. No problem. All right. What's our generation's level of emotional maturity when it comes to building relationships?
Yeah. I think that we are probably the generation that experienced the most divorce of parents. I think we are like in the overwhelming majority of that, of like the emergence of just like feminism, and women can get their own, and there's better options out there, and you shouldn't put up with a marriage or a man that doesn't give you the things that you're looking for, and you can always find something else after. At least that's what I experienced in my own life, is my parents splitting up at like 12, when I was 12 or 13, and then just not seeing the communication.
Yeah.
That was one of the things that I realized and that I express in my current friendships, and just as I navigate life, it's like I don't have any memory of my dad speaking to my mom, and they were together till I was 12, 13 years old. So he was like conveniently just in the other room while we were a family, but he would just never be in the same space. He never held court as a family, like we're having dinner together, and presented himself as the anchor of the family and decided, this is what we're doing, this is why school's important, this is my wife, like this is our family, and we're working it out. I don't have any recollection of him actually stepping up to the plate and assuming the role of a leader in my family. So I never saw how to come to terms in an argument, how to negotiate or compromise or just communicate in general. Like it's just like psychic communication at that point. It's just like, all right, like this person is supposed to understand what I'm going through and not have any sort of conversation. And then they split up, and that was that. So I don't have any examples of healthy relating. So when I experience tension, or at least in the history of whenever I experienced something that was unsettling for myself, my instinct is to check out. And there's not a lot of emotional maturity in checking out. But as I mature and realize that is my pattern to heal, is to communicate clearly what my needs are, listen to what the other person's needs are, and not fall into the same traps of finding emotionally unavailable people, realizing when I am becoming emotionally unavailable, and asking myself to show up to the table to communicate clearly, which is a whole thing in itself. That's the only way that we learn. We can cast all of these judgments on like modern dating and our generation of not being able to communicate, or our emotional maturity is not there, but it's up to each person to kind of shine a light on their own life and their own history, the patterns that they inherited, and to contemplate, like, am I showing up to this thing fully, or am I showing up as a broken person?
Wow. It'd be hard to follow that. I was
just figuring it out. I'm figuring that out on the fly. This isn't all figured out.
Yeah, no, you good, bro. I would say, though, to answer your question, Rob, I feel as though in a general sense, our generation's emotional maturity in terms of staying committed to a relationship can be sort of low. Just building off what Aaron was saying a little bit, I think part of that is due to the lack of codependency that now exists in our generation. And I think it goes both ways, honestly. I know through improvements that have come through the women's suffrage movement, and then being able to advance more in terms of, the careers and earning potential, I don't necessarily need to stay with my dude the same way that my grandmother had to back in like the 40s, 50s, whatever have you, because there probably was only one person bringing in an income to the house. Also, likewise, on the other end of the spectrum, in terms of like heterosexual relationships, for men, you know, people have this allure that, you know, I have Instagram. There are a million women out here, bro. There really ain't. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's pissed in the dating pool now. Like
In Portland, I would say in Portland.
period. I mean, period. I know a lot. All right, here, Aaron. Let me ask you this: of your close inner circle that I know here within your Portland friend group that we both share, how many of those individuals are married?
Damn. Like two?
And
two.
one of them that just happened within the last year.
Yeah, but it's like I have like as far as like in my own personal life, like the people that are closest to me, like I wouldn't consider that group closest to me.
Okay.
But I would say that there's increasing numbers of married people in my circle. Okay. In my most intimate circle for sure. And it's like it's overwhelmingly like, oh, like it's work. Like the thing that they convey to me over and over again is that it's work.
I would say a big part of that as well, and I think this goes from folks in their mid to late 30s all the way down to teens. Conflict resolution skills are at an all-time low.
Yeah. Super low.
It's super low. It's so easy for people now to just check out. Like there's too much to deal with. No, like properly communicate what issue is and tackle stuff not from a vantage point of you did this to me, this is why I have an issue of it. No, present it in a way that, okay, this is a problem that we're having in our relationship. How can we come to a resolution to where we both feel comfortable at the end of the day? And one big thing I had to learn in a previous relationship I had years ago is knowing when to just shut up and letting somebody get across their whole point. And for me, that was I'm laughing right now, but like that really was a big thing for me because, Rob, you know, I'm a talkative person. I like to debate, talk about sports, music.
You mean that Mario Kart?
Exactly. So like we can go. So I'll go back and forth. You funny. I'll go back and forth with somebody, but just knowing to allow someone to have their space can really help a conversation flow a lot better, as opposed to like bickering back and forth, and then you just feel dejected at the end of the night and nothing was solved.
Yeah, I think there's so much. I think what goes unspoken for when we do show up to the table, like fully embodied and present with a conflict or with tension, like what you gain from that when you see it clearly through and you go through the cloudiness. It's a very narrow window. It's easy to feel bruised and hurt from it, but when two adults show up and you have to have like the right dance partner, which I think like on the front end, it's like screening people that you welcome into your life. So you're not dealing with like lower quality people that don't have that vision for how they want to show up in the world. Because if you find someone who wants to see better in themselves, and then you come to a crossroads together and it's like, all right, this can go left or right, but just know that I'm going to be fully there. And even if it goes south, if it's like, hey, this thing needs to end right now, you have like the respect of them and of yourself for showing up for that relationship for the time. Like I crossed that bridge recently with someone where like the beginning was just like, hey, like I need to be able to speak my truth. Like I can't, like whatever it is, like I have to feel like I can speak my truth, because that is safety for me. Like is to be able to, whatever comes up, if I check myself first and like this is sitting really well with me, regardless if it hurts you, regardless if it like alters our relationship, I have to speak the truth. And to see someone else show up in that same capacity and fullness, to recognize like their own expectations or projections and own them, and then you own your shit at the same time, what you receive from that, of seeing a conversation all the way through without emotionally detaching and running the other way, like it gives you so much, even if it is a loss at the end of the relationship.
And like one of like the cool things about this conversation is like I feel like there's not enough spaces to have this conversation, because believe it or not, like it's so interesting. And like I promise I haven't like psychoanalyzed any of y'all. We're like, I promise. It's just like watching each point of y'all like grow up, and like what made me like, oh, I need to be this person's friend. It's like that hunger for like, I have a different perspective and I'm always growing because like people think when they get like this level of emotional maturity, because like 3-4 years ago, you spin game, but like as you age, you spit game differently. Whereas it's kind of like you're not invalidating yourself, you're evolving. And I feel like when it comes to like, well, and because this is just like currently a male space, right? Where like I feel like sometimes when men speak, right, where we have to say it perfectly, where it's kind of like, no, I'm able to make mistakes. I'm able to grow. I'm able to, because like, I feel like as guys, we have to have this so like at the beginning, I know what I want. I know what I'm doing. We're like, we are growing. We are maturing. We're elevating. And like, it's just so powerful to hear like, I was doing this. I was doing that. Where like so many people are expecting us to have all the answers. So.
Yeah, I don't have any of the answers
At all.
I'm just committed to finding them. And then if I do learn something that is a new insight, sharing that, but then not staying beholden to any version of self. It's like, it's always shedding layers, shedding layers, shedding layers.
I think that's why for me, we're like, I don't know about y'all, but I sometimes get like frustrated, like talking to people where it's like, I think for me, this like perfectionistic type of like tendency that we have on people, where like, why are you placing this person like on a pedestal? Like, you know, hate them or love them, you know, Katie, damn, pass the ball. Let Debo cook. You can't do it all. And it's like, when we have those expectations we have of other people, like it's so damaging to the emotional maturity. Because like, are you having that for even yourself? So it's just like, so I don't know. Sometimes I sit back and I kick back and I just hear people being like, well, if he or she would have did this, I'm like, nigga, what are you doing? Where are you contributing or not contributing? Because I'm pretty sure you're, you know.
And do you feel like that surfaces the most once you're starting to get to know a person in the initial dating stages, or once you're actually locked in, does like the glossy eyes start to fade away?
I'll be honest with you. I think, or we're not going to go toxic. I think I lose my capacity to have emotional maturity, because I think Aaron kind of mentioned too as well. When people do not seek to understand me, then I'm just like, all right, I'm just going to get my needs met, or I'm just going to like tune you out, or I'm going to just listen to a fault so you can shut up. And that's actually the wrong thing to do. Like, even though I'm not being the bad guy, I'm being dishonest to the process. Mm-hmm. I've checked out being like, I've told this person 1, 2, 3, 4, or I should have left the relationship, or I should have stopped talking to this person, or I should have had the balls being like, you're not hearing me and we should end this conversation. Like, I hear you. I can regurgitate everything you're saying to me, but I know you're not hearing anything I want or need. And that's something that I had to emotionally mature, because I thought I was listening. I wasn't. I was being immature.
That's fair.
Hey. No, I feel that. I feel that for sure. It's like when we, like, holding yourself accountable for entertaining things that are below you.
Huh?
Because it's like we all do it. It's like oh, like I've like spent this time. Oh, somebody new comes into the experience, the AR experience.
Oh, we got that. Whoa!
Wow, that was the bar.
But wait. Well, tell them what they get in that Camp AR.
All the rides.
Oh, whoa! Ladies, you hear that?
Kidding. But somebody new comes around. And it's like it's
new flavor.
New flavor, whatever. And then it's like, you know that it's not something that can give you as much as you can give it. Like I settle for that a lot. Like in my like life is, I have like ideas, wisdom, energy, perspective that brings value to the people around me. Like it clearly brings value to the friends around me. And there's a level of intimacy and closeness and vulnerability, emotional maturity, and a standard that I have with all of my friends. Like we all meet each other at this level. And in the past, the person who gets the closest proximity to me, I don't hold to that same standard. I downgrade and allow them to slide by on their looks or whatever, or my attachment, desire, whatever that thing is, it's like everybody's like chipping in, and then this person who's the very, very closest to me, just like I just let them get away with murder, and they don't have to hold themselves accountable. They don't have to contribute or be reciprocal, and I just make excuses for them. And that's when I need to hold myself accountable to that. Anytime that like a imbalanced relationship that I entertain, I have to take responsibility for it, because I know that I move with standards in all these other areas, but there's this, I don't know if it's an internal wound in which I allow for lesser in certain areas of life in the intimacy department. But that's like something that I'm like honing in on and have experienced a considerable level up in what I entertain for something that is intimate.
At what stage in your life would you say you became aware of that? Or was it like a relationship that you were like, okay, why am I doing this?
I think I've been aware of it for a while, but changing the behavior and identifying it, and then I think I've had healthier relationships as of late. Like even in like this year, just the quality of communication has improved significantly. But then it's just like that lower instinctual desire is like always there, and it's like how do I know if I'm operating in like my own authentic embodied power and clarity? I don't entertain those things when I'm like on.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions?
Cap. Anywho, I'm working the camera today. I know what I did. Anywho,
I see some of you need your nails done. Well, guess what? I have a place. Stop by a place called Capital Nails off Barber Boulevard, 10075 Southwest Barber Boulevard, number 6A. That will not only help you get your nails done, but help you look right for the weekend. If you stop by, make sure you say, I'm ready to play no games. Give you that sponsor shout out, a little promotion, a little discount. It's a family-owned business and operated for 2 generations of women over 20 years. It's a great for any occasion, down-to-earth staff, and a top-tier customer service and brag-worthy skills. Come catch a vibe and be swept off your feet, because dang it, they get your feet looking good. Make sure you check out Capital Nails. Descriptions in the bio, locations in the bio. Check them out.
all right, damn. I feel like I assembled the Avengers. I feel like I threw the hat in the air, and my guys came through.
Pretty much.
Yo, like I guess every time I do these, I get like really intrigued, because like I'm really like I'm really like Greg Popovich. I'm putting people together. I'm just like, damn, I'm good at this shit, y'all. Ugh. So the second question I have for y'all, and we might go over time, and we'll just keep it at 2 questions. Second question is kind of continuation of the first. It is, and it could be from a dating level, it could be from marriage or what you just see, but like, how do you think independence has helped or hurt modern day relationships?
Ooh.
I'll start first. I'm not gonna lie, close up time. I'll cut you out here. I'll just say this: if I hear another independent woman rant, independent this, independent that, I think I might croak, because we live in this society and world where we're all needed. When I think of family is like a unit, and like obviously it's not optimum to like be by yourself, but it's like I'm not gonna lie, I think it's not just independent women, but it's like a disease where it's kind of like if you think you could do so many things on your own, you're a damn lie. We need each other. We need a community. You need a partner. So I'm just tired of people saying I'm independent and I can do this all on my own.
Okay, I get why you say that, just because of the ripple effect it can have in society to an extent. With the music itself, I feel as though, as with us all being males, it's kind of hard for me to say a woman shouldn't take this as a war cry of taking ownership, of saying, I have a space at the table now. I don't necessarily need to have any level of codependency on a man, with just how much sexism permeates the rest of our society and kind of creates a glass ceiling for women in a lot of spaces.
1,000.
Now, I will also agree with you though on this. It's humorous to me, whether it be, Meg Thee Stallion, JT, Cardi B, who like make these type of songs. They're all great girlfriends. They usually like when they come out with some like songs, they be having relationships. Like, so it's like I be seeing the shit on Twitter or like, oh yeah, I don't need no nigga, I don't need no man. Da, 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 da. Yeah, she's rapping this. She's going home to Uzi and cooking. I'm not to place a woman like in a type of role, but like I've seen JT on her story literally doing that. I've seen Meg playing the housewife with Party, as her ex-boyfriend, and like, so forth and so forth.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of funny how like this dynamic kind of exists in society where the music doesn't match up with art, doesn't match up with real life at times.
Yeah, art. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the hyper independence, the hyper individualism, like it's kind of like holding both places. So it's like you can do either or. You could say you want one and be able to occupy both. So if one doesn't work, you can have an option. And it's like if you decide to become a partner and of service to like a collaborative relationship and being open to that, it's like, oh, it cuts off a part of me and I can't get that part of me back. And yeah, I think it's a very like white male patriarchal, like capitalist mindset of like, you have to do it on your own. And you're kind of setting yourself up, like writing that story for yourself of being 80 and alone because you don't know how to cooperate with people. And you feel like you're losing something if you decide to invest your energy into creating and cohabitating and making something work. It's easier just to press the eject button and society's not going to look at you any different. You could just go get your cats and dogs and in your eye, you've been sold this, like that's success. And I think people need the relationships to have meaning in life.
And to go off of that a little bit, it's a weird dynamic that comes into play being in Portland. Rob, you'll notice like my dad says Portland only makes two things, point guards and another word starts with pimps. So like,
I never heard that.
Yeah, that's new for me.
That's new for me.
But like that's how the culture is here, and a lot like males on the other end of the spectrum also say, I don't need a woman, I don't need or if I do have one, it may be a flock woman. That's cool. You could say, bro, nobody wants to be 40 still in the midst. Like, and I'll go to like clubs or lounges sometimes and see males that are in between me and my father's age. Like, bro, you have a daughter that's 5 years younger than me. Go home.
Yes.
Like, this is not your space anymore. Your time was late 2010s at the absolute latest.
If I'm being plumb honest with y'all, this actually wasn't a question. Literally last week, I had family and stuff come from out of town, and like literally, it like shocked my socks off. Like, I went from situation to situation. And I'm not gonna out anyone, but like at the common denominator at every situation was like the person was afraid to ask for help. I'm too independent, and I had to tell these people in so many different ways. Cause I said it in different ways because they needed different things. Being like, yo, I even need help. Or like, I know I can get an idea of what people look at when they look at me. Rob, he doing this, and that. But like even this year for me, I had to understand that I can't do everything on my own. Like, I need help, and there's nothing wrong with asking for help. And like, I'm really glad that we kind of like talked about the gambit where like we look at our culture. I'm tired of seeing our sisters. I'm tired of seeing our brothers thinking that we have to do it all on our own. Like, you do that. You do some of those mega dreams together with people and getting us back to the natural root of relationships.
And can I ask you something, Rob, too?
Yeah.
When coming up with this question, do you feel as though, that vibe of hyper independence permeates itself more on social media? I only ask it because it now occupies such a huge space in pop culture, because when I'm out in real life, people don't necessarily like walk that same type of talk. Like, no, bro. Like, I mean, Aaron said it earlier. Nobody wants to be 80 years and alone. And I think a lot of times, and I've been having to check myself about this lately. If I see somebody who just so far left with some type of viewpoint like that, I think to myself, if I know them on any type of level, does this person have any type of connection to a couple? It doesn't even need to be their parents that are married, but even like a friendship who've had long-standing healthy relationship. If that answer is no, I'm not going to entertain a conversation with you for too long.
Yeah,
it's going to be talking to a wall at that point.
Yeah, I think to add on like the independence, hyper independence, and individualism, that if culturally like everybody has that same mindset, like we're so much easier to control. That's why all of this whole everything is like, yeah, it is. It's so much easier to control if everyone's on an island and they haven't actually like broken bread and understood one another and can have differing opinions and still sit at the same table and respect one another. You put two people with opposing views at the same table now, it's like that conversation's not even happening. And we have zero capacity to hold space with one another. And it's like, if we were actually capable of doing that on a massive scale, then a lot of the issues that we see in the culture like would have solutions to it because people are actually talking, whether that's relational or social issues. So I think that's part of like, that's like the underbelly of promoting the independence of you can do it yourself, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, men and women, everybody in between. Like you could do it on your own. You can be an island and you can be successful and da 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 da. But then it's like, all right, we don't have any social skills of how to mediate conflict or how to even like love one another, how to celebrate one another, how to recognize the growth in another person, and to say like, dang, I've seen you grinding. I'm going to repost your post. Like I fuck with you heavy. You know what I'm saying? I know it's a little bit, but but it's like, but we feel like we're losing something if we do ask for help, or if we do like, I don't know, engage with more people than the people that we just feel comfortable with and keep us at this level. It's like, get some conflict in your life, healthy conflict, to allow us to grow. That's the only way, is getting to the edge over and over again and pushing that edge back farther. And it's like, you increase your capacity to hold space, but then it requires more of an effort for you to actually grow into the person that you're supposed to be.
Well, we do got to close down, but I do also want to answer your question. And I think Aaron did a phenomenal job of answering your question. But I think for me, I think it's like a combination of it all. Where like, I always talk to a lot of people that everyone thinks life is very black and white thinking, where it's like, it's either this or that. There are things that are this or that, but a lot of life is the gray area where like, it's going to be black, but it's going to be like, but like, oh, now that happened to your sister. What you gonna do? Because it's easy to say what you gonna do on the internet because you saw it through a video. Mm-hmm. We're like, I'll just say, and I'll use the more popular example with the Montgomery Brawl. I butchered that. Montgomery
Brawl.
There you go. I said bronze. So yeah, sorry. Anyway, whereas like a lot of people don't understand, like when you are in those situations, sometimes you don't know what you're going to do. Sometimes you might swim. Sometimes you might get a chair. Sometimes you might drag somebody, but it's almost kind of like, are you able to accept that it's okay? It is okay to grow. It's okay to learn. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to be a community, because all the people we look up to are not self-made. There are a person who got really lucky and then got more lucky. And just because someone's lucky is not a bad thing. It's just like they put themselves in that position to be around other people. So hopefully I answered that just from my perspective.
Yeah, no, I think you did a pretty good job.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with all that being said, this is Cartier Bob. I ain't got no Cartier, but
It's cool, bro.
It's okay. And these are like my dope friends, man. All their stuff will be in the descriptions in the bottom because they do dope things. But knowing me, I'm going to give them last word. Anything y'all would like to say before we sign off today?
Thanks for having us on. You can follow me on Instagram at Aaron Robinson to learn about mindfulness, self-care, all the good stuff that helps us connect deeper with ourselves and the people in our lives.
It's Tay Ford again. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at myforte.
This is routine for you.
Yeah, no, it is. Actually, I have an event coming up. It's called the Urban Vino. I'll just do a quick tease out here. Looking for a launch date early October. It's going to be like a social mixer, just combining music, pop culture, and wine. Rob knows I'm a big wine guy, so look forward to see most of y'all come out for it.
We will be there. Hey, we out.
Probably wondering if I think of you. Sorry, I'm for the bag right now. Yeah, I'm for the bag right now. Yeah, for the bag that I never had. Yeah, you probably mad right now. Yeah, I got a 2-piece now. Shit, I think they call them groupies now.